with David Cage, writer, director of Heavy Rain, and apparently CEO of Quantic Dream.
And game character.
And character. He can do whatever he wants. There's nothing he can't do.
Hell, I'd do that.
With the E3 2009 demo of Heavy Rain, which is a very, very, very highly anticipated title for the PS3. Tell us a little bit about Heavy Rain, what it's going to bring to the table.
Heavy Rain is a very dark thriller in the vein of movies like Seven. It's the story of 4 characters whose destinies are interlaced around the investigation of a serial killer called the Origami Killer, because he leaves an origami in the hand of his victims. It's a very different game, I would say. It's not about shooting or driving or solving puzzles. There's no enemy to kill. It's really very bizarre in that sense. The game is all about decision making. It's all about actions and consequences, and see how the decisions you make can affect the way the story is told.
So, tell us what you think about the term game over.
I think it's a very frustrating term, both on a gameplay point of view and a narrative point of view. On a gameplay point of view, it just means that you didn't play the game the way the game designer wanted you to play, so you need to do it again until you succeed, which is something quite frustrating. On a narrative point of view, it doesn't exist because there's no movie or even book where you would read the same scene again and again and again.
Choose your own adventure. It does have some game over.
Yeah. You could end the story, but it's different than having it just a brutal game over.
So how does Heavy Rain handle that?
Well, from the beginning we wanted to avoid these situations, and we had to face the major issue of solving what happens if a character dies. So the good thing about Heavy Rain is that we have 4 main characters, so if one of your main characters die, you can just continue the story with the others. So it doesn't end, it's just an event in the story, and the story carries on, taking this information onward.
Now, aren't you a little worried about the fact that gamers are conditioned where they don't want to die? And so, sure, you've written out all these scenarios in which main characters die, but aren't players going to say, oh no, I didn't do that right, and maybe reset and try again?
They can if they want to, but I would hope they would play it the way the experience is intended, which means just play it and bear with the consequences of your actions. And it's not that you will be you won't lose anything if you will lose something, but you will get a different story, and the story will be unique to your group. So if you talk to a friend of yours, maybe you will see different things, because he managed to keep his characters alive and you didn't. But you will have something else to tell him. Your story will be unique because it will be entirely based on your actions.
Okay. So a question about Fahrenheit, or as it's known in the US, Indigo Prophecy.
That's like the first one I want to ask. Is that what was the deal with the naming disparity between the regions there?
Oh my God, that's a very good question. It's a very stupid idea from a marketing guy in the US who's been fired since then.
Oh snap!
Okay, so you got the idea.
What was his idea?
His idea was that Fahrenheit in the US, in the mind of people, would be confused with Fahrenheit 9/11 from
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore.
Okay. That is.
And he thought that
guy deserved to be fired.
Yeah, people wouldn't buy the game because they would think it's related in a way or another to Michael.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. You have another question about Indigo Prophecy.
I don't know how to approach it, but
no, go ahead.
The last third of that game started just get blow the player's mind in terms of...
Yes, I know.
Were you the writer on that game as well?
Yeah. Yes, it's true. And what happened, there are 2 things that happened in fact. The first thing is that I started to tell the story that was really grounded in reality for the main part of it. And when I reached the end, I was like, okay, what kind of game am I creating? I mean, look at the industry around us. I mean, everybody's talking about big guys with big muscles saving the world and fighting against monsters and blah blah blah. And I got nothing like that in my game. All I have is people waking up in the morning, taking a shower, grabbing their clothes, talking to the girlfriend as they drink some coffee and leave for the office. This is my game. So I felt like I had to do something about it. I say, okay, I'm gonna put some big things here and there, so gamers will be happy about it. And it was really stupid. Also, I was not confident enough, I think, in what I was doing, and reading the reviews, reading the forums, talking to players, and playing the game myself a couple of months later, I realized that the best part of the game was the part of
it was the 2/3. We really did like that because it's just different. It's a different experience.
So different, but I didn't fully get that as I was doing it. You know, when you work hard, you don't have the step back to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. So you need to some time to figure out. And with Heavy Rain, my first word on the first blank page of Heavy Rain was real.
Right.
It's real people in real situations, because I think the media is now mature enough to tell more complex and subtle stories.
So they can't fly.
No, we don't need to fly, we don't need monsters, we don't need to save the world, we can just tell real stories. And this is exciting enough.
So with Heavy Rain, you're pretty much promising us a more cohesive package, bit of pace.
It's going
It's
to
like,
be...
no. No, it's going to be crazy.
Around about the 4th, 5th, then it just goes.
No.
It goes into space.
I've been much more careful about the story this time, but also I had more understanding of what I was doing and more probably experience. You know, very few people work on interactive storytelling in the world. And it's a very special discipline because it's a very technical way of writing, but it's also you try to remain creative. You know, in a movie, the script of a movie, for example, it takes about 120 pages. Well, Heavy Rain is 2,000 pages, because it's not just one story, it's so many stories branching.
Do you expect people to play it like 5 times?
I expect, to tell you the truth, I expect people to play it once.
Okay.
And keep it. Don't sell it. Just keep it on a shelf.
And when you play it again,
like
you
a
get a different
trophy, and say,
experience.
yeah, they will replay it, but I like the idea that you just get the consequences of your actions, and you'll never know what would have happened if you would have done something else. But like in real life, guys, I mean,
right?
When
We can't hit the reset button.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're out of time, but it was a pleasure speaking with
Thank you.
We're excited for Heavy Rain.
Okay.